SCP-09-4751. Recording length 05 minutes and 56 seconds. This recording was created using www.spokentext.net. What is socialism? Socialism, as we see it, is not the final answer to social development, and communism isn't either. Societies, like all processes in the world, undergo continual internal struggle, incremental change, and periodic revolutionary transformation. Socialism is a transitional stage because there isn't a quick straight line between a society based on exploitation and one based on equality, plenty, and human needs as the ultimate determining factor rather than profits. There are many hidden aspects of the economy and other social organization that will have to be changed, a process that will be protracted. Socialism, in our view, is a precursor to communism. Socialism is a stage of development where society transforms itself into an economic system based on production for use rather than production for profit, where social need plays a much larger role in political and economic decisions, where the commanding heights of the economy are socially owned and run on behalf of society, and where people can begin to transform themselves. In socialist society, the remains of the capitalist class will still exist. Before a communist society can be constructed, the remains of society based on exploitation, racial and social divisions, and where there are still inequalities in pay, distribution of goods, and other social divisions will need to be overcome. While there have been in our countries where communist parties play the leading role in government, there has never yet been a communist society, because such a society will rely on further developments in technology, production, education, and culture. Why is socialism a transitional stage? Why can't we just stay with endless socialism? Because society never stands still. Because once society and human nature go through the transformative process of socialism, it will develop even more egalitarian social and economic relations. Socialism still requires a state that has an oppressive apparatus to prevent the former ruling classes internally, and the capitalist classes in other countries, from returning to power and wiping out any and all gains. And under socialism, productive capacity will not yet have developed to a level that will provide for all the basic needs of all the people. We will still be sharing scarcity. We can't predict how long this transitional stage will take, and it will take different lengths of time in different countries. Obviously, 70 years of socialist development in the Soviet Union, taking place under constant attack from capitalists and fascists, wrestling with huge problems of underdevelopment, wasn't enough to make socialism irreversible. This was due to those constant attacks, to mistakes made by communists and others, to trying to build an advanced society in an underdeveloped country, to the many millions of workers and communists lost during WWII. So, contrary to some left thinkers who see a quick transition once capitalism is done away with, we see socialism not as a quick fix on the way to communism, but as a long stage of social development. What is the difference between communism and socialism? All communists are for socialism, seeing it as a transition stage to communism, a higher stage of economic, political, and social development. All socialists aren't for communism. Some see communists as too radical. Socialism is social ownership of the main means of production, factories, transportation, and the commanding heights of an economy, banks and other financial institutions, and runs them in the interests of the working people, using part of the value that workers produce to build up the social institutions and benefits for the whole people. Communism, as we see it, is a more advanced stage that comes after socialism. Communism, a stage of development never reached anywhere yet, reduces the state apparatus to minimal administrative functions, since people and society will have advanced past the need for coercive functions like armies, and will directly and indirectly provide people with the full benefits of the labor they engage in. We see communism as a later stage of development, a stage when the production of the necessities of life has become plentiful, when there will no longer be shortages of food, housing, jobs, healthcare and education. We see communism as a stage when governments can wither away, to mere administrative agencies rather than maintain coercive control on behalf of exploiting classes through armies, police forces, court systems, tax agencies. Socialism, which we are advocates of, is a transitional stage between capitalism and communism, a stage where a change in production relations, social relations, and individual outlooks become solidified, when people have gone through a prolonged period of living in a society not based on scarcity, exploitation, and oppression, and when production for use rather than profit is a well-established economic system, and when the productive forces have advanced to be able to provide for the needs of all people, then society will be able to advance to communism. Communists are advocates of both socialism and communism. In a socialist country, there is still a struggle that goes on between the ruling working class and the dispossessed capitalist class inside the country, and between the working class in power in one country and the capitalist class in power in other countries. The stage of socialism, as we have learned from experience, is not irreversible, and there is not a short, quick march to communism. This recording was created using Spoken Text, the free online text-to-speech converter. To learn more about Spoken Text, visit www.spokentext.net.